chairman, Professor E.O. Oyetunji, and also to Mr. David Afolayan, who is our special guest of honor, and our guest of honor, Mrs. H.F. Adekeye. It's a great opportunity for me and privilege to be reading the citation of no other person other than my very own classmate in person of Engineer Dotun. Please let me know if my screen is up because I've started sharing from my hand as well. Okay, so please let me know if my screen is up.
Yeah.
All right.
It's up.
So Engineer Dotun Kazim has followed our interest in the man-machine components system. Dotun Kasim decided to pursue a master's in management, innovation, and entrepreneurship at the Imperial College Business School in London, where she is currently resident. Post-graduation, she has also launched an independent business consultant, creating strategies for aspiring business owners to validate their ideas and successfully launch their enterprises. Pursuing a vast passion for elder relationships and a desire to help people enjoy connection in the relationships that matter, she decided to grow her thought leadership on the subject by launching a newsletter named The Closer Place. What started out as monthly letters educating people on closeness with self and others has morphed into a coaching practice where she guides clients in search of more connection to pursue the closeness that they desire. In recognition of the threats that geographical distance poses to closeness in the relationships that matter, she started a YouTube channel where she makes videos for immigrants who live far away from their loved ones. Through all adventures, Dotun has remained committed to helping people build intentional lives and meaningful relationships, whether in business, at home, or across border. With a growing body of work and a deep conviction about human connection, she continues to create spaces where closeness is possible, nurtured, and also sustained. So with this, I would like to invite our amiable guest speaker, who again is my able classmate, also my colleague, Engineer Dr. Kasim, to come and give us a lecture. So you have the floor, Engineer Dr. Kasim.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Ola, for your enthusiasm in reading this citation. Okay, so I would like to share my screen. Just want to confirm that can everybody see my screen?
Yes, you can see it.
You can see it.
Okay, lovely. Thank you. Thank you so much to Professor Oladokun for trusting me to deliver this lecture. And I would like to especially acknowledge all the guests of honors, the guests of honor present here, Professor Oyetunji, Momi Adekonye of Staff School, and special mention to Mr. David Afolayan, because like our moderator mentioned, he was my employer at some point. So when I was doing my 6 months IT as an undergraduate, I think it's very befitting that he's the special guest of honor here today, because there is something that he used to say to us then that has stayed with me now and has actually influenced a lot of the things that I do. He used to say then that you can either do big things in a small way, or you can do small things in a big way. And that has shaped my perspective of the things I do, even if they are little beginnings or small in a certain way. I try to be very loud about them and do them in a big way. And it's by doing the little things I do in a big way that Professor Oladokun highlighted or spotlighted me and decided that I was a worthy guest for this lecture. So thank you so much, Mr. David Afolayan, for your mentorship while I was interning at GIS Consults. I am very delighted that an elementary school teacher is here, because these are conversations that we need to have as early as possible, just to make sure that children are headed in the right direction and they don't have to course correct later on in life. Thank you everyone for being here. Everyone that is here, either on my account or on account of the IPA platform, thank you for being here. And it's a special honor to be speaking to my professors, people that taught me as an undergraduate. I will see my final year supervisor. I saw his name in the participants, and yeah, it's a delight to be speaking to people that taught me and formed me into who I am today. Thank you so much for giving me audience. I'm talking about this theme that I believe that the guests of honor have done justice in their introduction, beyond likes and links, staying connected in a digital age. So I have a brief opening question. You can use the chats, or no, it might not be easy to use the chats, but I'd just like you to engage with your mind, even if you'd not use the chat to answer the question. So how many followers? That's for people that use Instagram and Facebook. Or if you are more a LinkedIn person, how many connections? Or if it's WhatsApp, how many contacts do you have across your social media platforms? Like in your mind, just think, what's the rough estimate, sum total? For me, I would say I'm pushing something like 1,500 to 2,000 across all platforms, right? So you should also have like a rough idea of how many connections you have digitally. And then the next question is, how many have you had a phone conversation with or a face-to-face chat with in the past week or the past month? And maybe if a phone conversation is too much to ask, an in-depth chat, like texting, maybe voice notes, a video call or something like that. When last have you had that? Or how many of those people in your wide network have you had such close conversation or interaction with? It's just something for you to think about, and the ratio might be a bit staggering, not just for you, for me as well, for every one of us, actually. That is one of the things that necessitates the conversation that we are having. So in this lecture, I would speak about social connection, what it is, why it is important. And for everything that is important, its absence would have impact. So I will talk about the impact of its absence, and I will come with a proposed solution. And I'll close out with what I believe is our collective role as a community in fostering social connection. So what is social connection? It is a state of feeling close to another person or people. CDC, that's the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, defines it as feeling like a part of something larger than yourself, feeling close to another person or group, feeling welcomed and understood. I know that I mentioned feeling many times in this definition, and recognizing the fact that I'm speaking to engineers who are more inclined to discuss numbers or data or facts, I know that that might be a foreign concept, layered on the fact that I am also speaking to a predominantly Nigerian audience, where our cultural inclination is really not to talk about feelings, whether privately or publicly. I know that this might be foreign territory for some people, but the truth is that these feelings and the need for these feelings to be validated are ingrained into our wiring, into our design as human beings. We are humans, and we need connection the same way, maybe not as intensely, but very close to the same way we need water, the same way we need food. It's not just our minds that desire connection. Our bodies react when we experience connection and when there is a deficit of connection, from our brains to like other parts of our system. So this is something that is really relevant, and although it might have taken the back burner in previous conversations, it's important for us to be bringing it to the fore now, and I'm happy that we are doing that together this evening. So what are the benefits of social connection? Increase in life satisfaction, greater happiness, which also means reduced anxiety and depression, disease prevention, interestingly, some diseases such as heart diseases and dementia, Alzheimer's, can actually be prevented when people have healthy social connection in their lives. And very interestingly as well, reduced early mortality by a whooping 50%. You can reduce the likelihood of dying early by fostering healthy social connections in your life. So these are the good parts, or the reason why we all need social connection. You can imagine that something that is this beneficial would also be detrimental when it is not present. It's not only an individual problem, actually, it's a global economy problem. And the absence of social connection is what is generally known as loneliness. It is costing the Australian economy $2.7 billion annually. In the USA, because of the size of USA, because the USA just does everything more exorbitantly than everybody else, because they're $154 billion annually. And here in the UK, it's 2.5 billion pounds costing the system because people are lonely. And these numbers are mostly from the cost of absenteeism when people are not able to perform optimally in their workplace or to even show up to work as a result of loneliness. And also the impact on the health system, on the healthcare system that is taking care of these people. These great numbers or this large amount does not even factor in the tangential effects of loneliness, like alcoholism or smoking or other unhealthy habits that people pick up as a result of trying to numb the pain or trying to deal with the problem in unideal ways. So this is just the minimum that it is costing global economies. Here in Africa, here in Nigeria, because we are quite behind in the data that we collect on such intangible matters, like I think we are more inclined towards the tangible and physical things. So because we don't have that much data, it's hard to say how much it is costing us. But we can imagine that if these other nations are experiencing such a deficit because of this problem, then we also in Nigeria, though it might not be as extreme, there's definitely a cost to loneliness for our nation as well. So when you think of loneliness, there are some demographics that are like obviously at risk. Elderly people, because as they grow older, their own friends die, they're left alone, their children move to a different city, different reasons that you can imagine. Elderly people are at risk of loneliness. New parents, well, maybe not surprisingly, but because of the newness of the experience and how there is a likelihood that they might not have people in their circle of friends, or people just do not have the time to pause to be with them as much as they need in the moment that they are welcoming new life into their families. Migrants are also prone to loneliness because of the realities of being in a new place, not having people that they know around them, or not yet having established strong enough relationships or connections. Minority groups as well, which would also, not every time, but most times migrants fall within minority groups. But within the context of Nigeria, you might think of it as maybe Igbos within a predominantly Western state or Western environments. People that are just not the majority, those people are prone to loneliness or like lower quality of social connection. these are expected in some regard, but in recent years, a new demography has entered the party. A new demography is showing like increased rates of loneliness and decrease of quality of social connection, and it is quite alarming because when you think of loneliness and not having people to connect with, young adults might not necessarily be the first group of people that come to mind. But this is what the numbers say based on a World Happiness Report. So this is a global report across countries, 22 countries for one set of the experiment, and another one had 168 countries. So it's across the board. Young adults between 18 to 29 say that feelings of loneliness is increasing for them by an average of 0.22% per year. And the quality of social connection has decreased for young adults since 2006. Each year, an additional 0.1% of young adults report not having anyone that they can count on. And you might think 0.1%, that's a very small number, but that's 1.7 million people that are saying they feel alone in a world of 7 billion people. That is not okay. We have to do something about it. And it's alarming because in this age of life, it's expected that this is the time when people are investing energy and exerting themselves in the direction of building social networks and community, because as life progresses, they just don't have that much latitude, that much free time to focus on building relationships. They start building their own family, and they start building their careers, and life just gets more busy. So it's assumed that this is the time when people should not be complaining about loneliness. But for some reason, over the past decade or so, this has been the trend. Another reason it is alarming is that this generation is the only generation that has had technology and connection at their fingertips for the entirety of their existence. So if you look at this timeline from 2000 and before they even came on, before this age group 18 to 29 even came on on sets being the world, there was already an advancement of technological systems they were quote unquote designed for connection. 2004, we're looking at a timeline from 2006 till now, and Facebook came on board 2004. That's a couple of years before the decline in relationship satisfaction started to happen. So it's interesting that as there are increasing platforms for digital connection, there is a report of reduction in satisfaction with social connection. A Harvard study on loneliness in the US reported that about 73% of respondents said that the technology is the primary reason for their loneliness. And it's a very understandable sentiment, because there are many ways that technology poses a threat to human connection. When you think about the appearance that people have to put up to look a certain way to appeal to a certain audience, or you think about the comparison, how people look at other people's lives and think everybody else has it better than them, maybe nobody wants to be their friend, or you just even think about the endless scrolling that people would rather do than to go out and engage in human conversations, or people would rather send a text than do a phone call or do a video call just because of the convenience. So all of these things have their way of reducing the quality of our social connections. But it doesn't have to be this way, because technology in itself is just a tool. it's an addictive tool, and the people behind it are not really thinking about your connection needs. Primarily, they're thinking about their gain, they're thinking about their profits. However, there's a way that we can interact with technology to make sure that it is helping us serve our purpose and not derailing us from what we truly desire. So I have a proposed solution to loneliness, and it's really about understanding the needs of the people, like for individuals to define for themselves what they actually need in terms of social connection. This is because loneliness is a subjective feeling. I think it's one of the challenges. This is why it's a persistent problem, because it varies for individuals, and it is individuals that define whether or not they are lonely, because it is based on the gap between their desired levels of social connection and what they are actually experiencing. And that gap differs for people. So it is a very individual problem, I would say. And I'm proposing the idea of understanding needs first before thinking of how we can use technology, because it's like I'm trying to use like an industrial engineering perspective to go at the problem. I mean, industrial engineers will be the first to say that systems should be designed to suit the needs of the human that they are being designed for. That's the whole idea of ergonomics. And our proprietors was talking about how our departments kindly designed a chair to solve the problem of one of their staff that was having backache. So yeah, I'm sure that the process of designing that chair was about understanding what that person needed as a human being, physiological needs, all of those things. So how can we apply that principle to solving the problem of loneliness? How can we say we want to understand the needs of the human before proposing what should be done for them? So yes, like I was saying, in understanding these needs, the individual has to take responsibility. There has to be a stepping up that individuals are doing, because you are the one that knows where the shoe is pinching. As much as science and research can give an overview of what a human being needs in terms of social connection, or people need to be understood, people need support, people need to be cared for, you are the one that knows what being understood means for you. You are the one that knows what support looks like for you. A researcher somewhere in a lab somewhere cannot define that for you. And your needs are different from other people's needs. Person A has different needs from person B. What might be satisfactory for somebody, just maybe based on their background, their upbringing, their perspectives, their personality, it might not serve another person. Another person might just be like, oh, this is not enough for me. I want more time. I want to spend more time with certain kinds of people. I want to have deeper conversations with certain kinds of people. And somebody might just be like, oh, I'm okay to just go out with somebody every now and then, and I really don't need so much more. Another reason that we must take ownership of defining what our needs are is because our needs are not static. They evolve with time. They evolve with the season of life that we are in a particular season. Let's say somebody might be an undergraduate, living, maybe his problem at that point is that he lives in a BQ far away from all his other classmates who are in the hostel. So he doesn't have as much interaction with people as he would desire. So that is what is causing that gap in his life. But 5 years down the line, he's out of school. He's building a career for himself now. Maybe he's even freshly married, But with the wave of Japa in Nigeria, all his friends have left. So he has no physical friends. His friendships are transitioning to long distance, and there's now a gap with what is experienced and what is preferred. So that is that person's definition of loneliness in that season. For an elderly woman in a particular season, she might not have that much need, in the sense that, oh, her children are still around her, and that's really occupying most of her time, most of her attention. She might even be best friends with her teenager, so that fills a gap for her. But 3 years down the line, her daughter, her best friend, has gone to university. The house is empty, the house is quiet. Now she has a fresh need that she did not have 3 years ago. Do you see why it's important for us to be aware of ourselves, to be cognizant of what it is that we need on a per season basis? So yes, the proposed solution what I am proposing as a solution to loneliness is actually a concept called self-connection. Self-connection is about being attuned to your desires, to your needs, to your thoughts, pretty much your inner life. Like, we have an inner life and we have an outer life. We have the life that we have to wake up to and show up to and all the things that we have to do. But we also have like a person on the inside. We have a person that has thoughts, that has feelings, that has needs, and we need to be paying attention to that person on the inside. Self-connection has 3 major components: awareness, acceptance, and alignment. Awareness is pretty much what it says, is knowing what you need. In the same way that when a child is maybe out of sorts or is not as bubbly as they usually are, you would ask, oh, is there a problem? What's the problem? Or if a baby is just wailing, you try to see, okay, are you hungry? Are you tired? Do you need to use the bathroom? Those kinds of things. We need to have that kind of relationship with ourselves where we are aware of what we need per time. And trust me, your body knows what you need. You just need to be quiet enough to listen to what you need and what you want. All of those things, we have the answers on our inside most of the time. The other part of it is acceptance, which is when you discover something, like you might discover something about yourself that you might not necessarily prefer to be the case, but just accepting it for what it is, because in that moment, you cannot change it. Subsequently, you can change it, you can work on changing it. But before changing, there's an acceptance that you need to have of whatever it is. And alignment is really matching your actions to the needs that you are now aware of, to your wants and your desires that you have come to know through the process of being aware. How do you align your actions to match those desires? So an example of self-connection or the fruit of self-connection, I would say, is how it allows us to pursue our preferred life. It allows us to decide for ourselves what we want and actually go after what it is that we want. I'm sure you've heard maybe a story somewhere, or you saw it on social media, of maybe an elderly person that decides to pick up a hobby, maybe in their 70s, they are starting a YouTube channel in their 70s, or they decide to go back to school and do that master's that they did not do when they were 30. They just decide that, oh, even though I'm 80 now, I still want to go back to school. Those kinds of actions, aligning actions, they're an example, or a fruit of self-connection, because the person comes into awareness of what they have always wanted. Maybe life just buried that desire somewhere down. Like they had children, they had bills to pay, they had a business to focus on. They had also, all of those things had quieted their true desires. But as they started aging and started reflecting on their lives, they're like, okay, this is something I always wanted to do. I'm going to I'm going to do it. And acceptance for them can look like I recognize that it's something that I should have done earlier. Maybe other people don't do it at this stage, but I accept that this is my reality, and I am not going to feel bad or feel guilty that this is how, or this is the time that I am finally deciding to do what I am doing. And then alignment will just be the actions that they are taking in the direction of what they have become aware of. So this, I'll just randomly chip in here for anybody. If there's anything on your mind that you've always wanted to do, it's not too late, you're not too old. You can go after what it is that you want. And also, you don't have to wait till you're old to make that decision. You can make that decision whenever it is that you choose to. So that was a mild digression just for me to explain the concept of self-connection. What I am now proposing is self-connection for social connection, using self-connection as a means to achieve the social connection that we so dearly need as a society. So awareness would be what is it that you need? What are your connection needs in this season of life that you are in? Are you an, I don't know, an elderly parent, and you just really think, oh, I would like to have a deeper relationship with my child now. I recognize that, oh, I don't have that many years anymore, and I would like to build a relationship with my child that I did not have the opportunity to build before. For a young person, maybe starting out a business or something like that, you might feel like, I need somebody that understands the headache of building a business in Nigeria. My friends are in the corporate world. They don't understand my struggles. When I come ranting to them, they don't get it. I just need somebody that understands. That's that person's connection need at that time. For somebody who is transitioning, like leaving the country, their resident country, going abroad for school, or maybe they have spent a month abroad or something, their need might just be like, okay, I need people like me who understand the struggle of being in a new country, or I need somebody who is already settled into this country. Like I need a native in this country that can put me through. I need somebody that would help me understand everything that I don't currently understand. And maybe for new parents, we identify them as a risk, demography at risk. For new parents, might be okay. All our friends, they don't have children yet. They don't know what this struggle is. We need fellow new parents, or we need a mother can just say, I need somebody that has gone ahead of me. I need somebody that has cracked this headache of balancing motherhood and work, or whether it's even a stay-at-home mom. I just need somebody that has figured this out. I need somebody to put me through. I need a mentor. Whatever it is, every now and again, it's just important for us to be sitting with ourselves to say, what exactly do I need? What would make me feel seen in this season? What would make me feel understood? Like, I need somebody that gets it. I don't have to say too much, that the person will just understand that, oh, this is what you are going through. So be aware of what it is that you need, and acknowledge whatever it is that you find out without feeling guilty or needy. Some people don't like asking for help. They just feel like it's a sign of weakness, that it means that they cannot do all of the things that they want to do by themselves, or they don't have it all together. But that is not the case. Like I established earlier, we are human beings. We need each other. We are designed to connect with one another. So accept your need without feeling like a needy person, or without feeling like a burden. Some people say, like, this is something I hear a lot. So I didn't want to disturb you, or I didn't want to feel like a burden. I just thought to power through that stress by myself. I didn't want to disturb you. Accept that you're limited. You're a human being. You have needs. It's better for you to voice them out and have them met than for you to endure the discomfort of not having them met, basically. And that thing that might make people feel guilty is like looking at the person that they need at that moment. Like maybe you as a child, a young child in this place might just think, oh, I would like to spend more time with my parents. I want a stronger relationship with my parents at this time. But you are thinking that, oh, they have done so much for me already. I don't want them to feel like they have failed me. I don't want them to feel like they haven't done a good enough job of raising me. So you would not voice out what you need because you're trying to protect them, or you're feeling guilty for needing them more than they have been available. But your needs are what they are, right? And if you know, or if there are indications that your parents might actually rise up to that need, like they have what it is that you are asking to give. Sometimes they don't have what it is that you're asking for. And it's okay if they don't have it, but don't feel guilty for wanting more, for needing more. Basically, that's the idea of acceptance. And alignment, taking actions in the direction of having your needs met. Whatever action would look like for you, depending on what you have already defined as, oh, this is what I need at this time, then the lowest hanging fruits. I would always suggest that, particularly with things such as asking for your needs to be met, I start with the lowest hanging fruits, like something that the person might not even know that you are demanding more from them than you used to before, because it could be an uncomfortable space for both parties. So you're taking action in the direction of having your needs met, and also starting or rather using technology. Remember, I mentioned that we should approach our relationship with technology as a thing that is meeting our needs, which is why we decided to define our needs from the beginning. So now that you know what you want, how are you going to use technology to achieve that? So you wouldn't be a passive user of technology, just mindless scrolling, all of that. You will now be in control, or you'll be in the driver's wheel of how you use all the social media or social messaging apps that you have. For a grandparent that says, I would like to spend more time with my grandchildren, even though they are abroad now, they are far away from me. Technology is a blessing. So what would you do? Maybe you say, oh, every week or every other week or every weekend or every other weekend, I will do a video call. I want to talk to my babies. I would call their parents to allow me to talk to my grandchildren. That's using technology for connection. If you are maybe building a business and you need somebody that understands what you're going through, you can look for communities online or even LinkedIn. Just being genuine in the DMs that you are sending to people. By the time you connect with yourself on a genuine level, you are less likely to come off to people as a leech or as somebody that just wants to take from them, because you are because you are being genuine. So if you know that what you need at this time is a co-builder, or you need a mentor or something, you can use LinkedIn to foster that relationship. If you just want maybe a new parent, just looking for a community of people that gets you, you can find a Facebook group or an Instagram group or a Telegram community or a Discord group that satisfies that need for you in that particular season. I mean, there are a plethora of social platforms, but it's best when you are defining what you are using those platforms for, or how they are helping you meet your own needs, instead of them being the things that are separating you from the connection that you want. Use them as the means that would drive that connection. So yeah, since I have really painted self-connection as as a proposed solution, as a really credible solution for loneliness and social connection deficits, I think I should talk a little bit more about it and just give people handy tips on how to cultivate self-connection. So practicing stillness would help in that whole process of awareness, to know what exactly it is that you really need in in a particular season of your life. How I imagine stillness is, you know, a Coca-Cola bottle or a fizzy drink. Basically, when you shake a fizzy drink, there's all that reaction, all the bubbles, everything. But when you set it down for a while, everything after some time, it calms down and you can't even see any bubble anymore. It's like it was like you never shook it. I think that the hustle and bustle of life, of the life that we live and the pace that we live at, sometimes we can be like that Coke bottle or that carbonated drink that life is shaking. So every now and again, we just need to calm down and actually do nothing. Let all the bubbles settle. Let all the dust that life has raised, let it just settle. When it settles like that, you can now truly hear yourself, to know what exactly it is that you want, away from the noise of the world and the demands of life. Ways to practice stillness are like taking walks without your device, without plugging in music or anything, or even just sitting still in the morning when you wake up, even before you say your prayers, before you rush out of bed. That first 10-15 minutes of your day before the barrage of life comes at you, can just be quiet for a while and hear what your mind has to say, basically. Another thing is questioning. Most people use mirrors every day, and I would like to encourage that every time you see yourself in front of the mirror, actually see yourself as, not every time, maybe often, anytime you're standing in front of a mirror, see yourself as another person that you are relating with. So ask the person in the mirror, how are you doing? Are you happy? What is bothering you right now? What's something that you need in this moment? What's something that you would prefer to do today, as opposed to everything that people are asking you to do? But just basically checking in with yourself. Are you happy? What do you need? Are you tired? Are you fine? How are you? Every now and then, and whatever answers you that come to you, act on them. If your body or your mind is telling you that I am really, really tired, do something about it. Try to take a break, or schedule leave or a retreat or something. Maybe nothing too extravagant, actually. If you can do 15 minutes every day, or just say, oh, one Saturday, I'm just going to go for a drive for 1 hour and not be with anybody or anything. Just something to refresh yourself, basically. And also, journaling is another practice that helps with self-connection. I don't know if you've ever been in a situation where somebody comes to you for advice, and what you share with the person even surprises you. You're like, hey, I knew that. Where did that come from? I didn't know that I had that much knowledge on the matter, or I didn't know that I had that much wisdom. All of that is because there was something pulling it out of you, a conversation with somebody else. So another reason why it's important to have like real conversations with people. But yeah, for ourselves, many of it, not many, but I guess a significant number of the things that are bothering us, we actually have the answers to them on our inside. If we just take the time to journal, to say, okay, this is a problem I am facing at work. How do I solve this? Ask yourself. You will be surprised that the answer to the question would come. You can either use a digital journal, there are a ton of them, or you can use a physical journal. But every now and then, maybe every month or something, you can do it. You can schedule it to say, okay, at this time every month or every week, I would journal and ask myself to solve my problems. Or you can have a more reactive approach when there's a decision that is really stressing you out, or a situation in the family, a child throwing tantrums, a relationship problem, that kind of thing. You'll say, okay, I need to process what is going on. Just take out a pen and paper and write everything that is happening. You'll be surprised at the answers that would come from your own well of from your own well of wisdom. Yeah, we are all very wise people. Life wisens us up, and as we age, we gain more experience, more answers, and all of those things. So I think we should really be crediting ourselves and taking advantage of what we already have, instead of always going out to look for answers like Google or what people are saying on social media. So all of that said, I know I have mentioned the role of self and the individual a lot in saying how we can build more connected societies, or like increase the connection that we experience as people. But as much as a significant responsibility lies with each individual, we also have a collective role. Define what they need from other people. If these other people would not rise up to meet those needs, if we as the other people would not show up for people in the way that they need us to, or if people cannot count on us to be present for them, to understand them, to support them, all of that. So I'll talk briefly on our collective role as friends and family, as teachers and educators, and as organizational leaders and policy makers. So as friends and family, there's a long list of things that I could reel out, but I would just say a couple. So as much as it is each person that knows what they need per time, there are very basic and general needs that everybody has. Everybody would like to know that they are loved. Everybody would like to be heard every now and then. Everybody would like to be commended for what they are doing. Everybody would like to be affirmed. So if you have family members, if you have friends, your close friends, make it a point of duty to actually just be generous with all of these things. Communicate your approval even before people do anything great. Just let them know, oh, I see you, I see what you're doing, well done, more grace, all of that. Let people know that you love them. I know that I'm talking to a Nigerian audience, and many of us did not grow up in homes that say, I love you. But if it's something that you can start saying where you are, whether as the child to the parents, or as the parents to their children, say it. Don't wait till you are reading people's eulogy at their funeral to mention how much they mean to you, or how your life is much better because of them in it. Just be very generous with these things. Tell your parents that, oh, when is Mother's Day, when is not Mother's Day, when is Father's Day, or on their birthdays, don't just buy a card. Go the extra mile. Tell them what you are grateful for. Let them know that you are happy that they are in your lives. Yes, that's one level, like just the very general, this is what people need. Make sure you are giving that to people. Then the other level is asking people, how can I support you in this season that you are in? What would make you more satisfied with the level of connection in our relationship? Or you can even just ask, are you satisfied with how connected we are as friends? Or are you satisfied with how connected we are as siblings? Are you satisfied with how connected we are as, I don't know if you would like to extend that to your colleagues, but having these important conversations, what would make you more satisfied with our relationship? How can I be supporting you in this phase of life that you are in? And of course, we can't spread ourselves too thin and then I'm sure people will have many friends, apart from the thousands of connections that we have on social media. Even our circles might also be large. Like you might have a larger circle of people, like 10 people around you. It doesn't make sense to be sending messages to all 10 people asking them how you can be more present for them. But in the ones that really matter, like your closest 3 relationships, you can ask these questions, and maybe rotate it in the next in the second half of the year. You might focus on a different set of people to say, okay, let me ask them the same question. How can I be more present for you at this time? So that's it for friends and family. Then as teachers and educators, I would say that like the second advice I give family and friends, also asking, particularly for the primary school and maybe also the secondary school level, children really need support, children need affirmation. Asking them every now and then how maybe primary school students cannot answer how can I be supporting you at this time, but in the secondary school level, if you identify people that might be going through stuff, or they are just not as happy as they used to be, or you're just wondering about their lives, you can ask them, is there anything that I can do for you as your teacher? Like, as your teacher at this time, is there any way I can be supporting you? And also the general affirmation that people need to be seen and understood. Just be generous with congratulating your children or the students in your classroom. Well done. Celebrate the work that they do. Acknowledge their efforts. When they improve, mention that you notice their improvements, and yeah, things like that. As organizational leaders and policymakers, it's important to cultivate spaces that allow people to pause every now and then, and also to connect with one another during maybe team bonding activities or lunch hour, those kinds of things. Being intentional about hearing people out to say, okay, how in the way that is appropriate, that in the way that does not cross any boundaries, how can this company be supporting you at this time, and what policies can be set in place to ensure that companies and organizations are supporting their members of staff. So that's about our collective role in fostering social connection in our communities. I have come to the end of my talk. Thank you very much for listening. Maybe I'll just do a brief recap now. So yeah, I talked about social connection, the benefits of social connection, happiness, long life, productivity, all of that good stuff, and the absence of social connection leads to loneliness, and loneliness is a very expensive problem for the global economy. So to solve the problem of loneliness, I propose that people take the driver's seat of meeting their social connection needs by defining them and taking actions to pursue them. And in following these actions, using technology as a tool to foster the connection that they desire. So, and yeah, we all have a role to play. It's not just the individual's job to meet their connection needs. We need one another. Thank you.
Wow, that's a beautiful one. Well done, our guest lecturer, Dr. Kazim. You have done well, and we quite appreciate what you have passed across tonight. As you can see it, I'm sure it's a discourse that we really need. Perhaps loneliness may be, most time these days people are busy, WhatsApping, doing one thing or the other, and it appears maybe they are connected, so to say. But somehow, it could also be an issue. In fact, on a lighter mood, I think about 2 or 3 days ago, my wife was she was just reminding me, what's happening? In about 30 minutes, we were there together. I was just busy with my handset. She was busy at home, no communication. She just said, what's happening now? So we were more or less lonely, in quotes, so to say, as of that period in time. But before, anytime inside, we are just talk. But this time, we were with phone and then busy somehow. In a way, yeah, and you thought people are far away and they discover people are far away, but people, somebody is sitting beside you is far away from you, and you are very close to somebody who is far over there. So it's a thing that we need to look at. So thank you for drawing attention to this. And I believe in one way or the other, all of us have gained one thing or the other. I want to call our chairman to make a remarks about the lecture. Professor Yetunji, sir.
Well, thank you very much, moderator, and our guest lecturer. Thank you so much for a lecture that has been professionally well delivered. The first thing that threw me off balance was the opening question. How many connections, followers, and things like that. If I have to score myself there, I don't think I'll pass that. And I believe that so many of us that are old school too will fall in the same category with me. So thank you so much for a very, very insightful lecture that you have delivered. For me, to make some few remarks, I think this lecture has been very, very wonderful. I note the issue of loneliness that you mentioned. Also, I like to underscore or highlight what you said, that loneliness is very expensive. And I think you cited about 3 countries, Australia, USA, and I think I've forgotten the third one, where you cited the cost to those countries. And when you got to that point, for me, as a researcher, the first thing that came to mind was, well, we had this study carried out in an advanced country. And I'm going to throw this challenge to the HOD and my colleagues in the department there. I'm not sure. Maybe we can find out, has any similar study been carried out within the context of Nigeria? For example, we need to know, what is the cost of loneliness? Okay, what is the effect of loneliness on the well-being of Nigerians? I think we probably need an empirical study. If we don't have one yet, maybe we can assign some students, maybe at BSc level, MSc level, to conduct a similar study for our context in Nigeria, so that we can properly advise policymakers about the impact and the cost of loneliness within our context. I want to suggest that you may want to look at that, so that a possible research topic for either BSc level or MSc level. Well, I think this evening our guest lecturer has also charged us that we need to individually take responsibility for our well-being. We need to take responsibility. As our moderator, Dr. Kolawole, puts, that your experience with your wife is similar to myself and my wife. Sometimes too, we are in the sitting room for some time. Everybody is just pressing something on the phone and things like that. And sometimes you wake up in the morning, your mind will be is on the phone. I think that's what our guest lecturer has pointed our attention to tonight. Let me stop here and allow us to make further to discuss. There are a whole lot of things to discuss. We're talking about connection. A lot of people have connected on the social media through technology, and it has brought disaster. Some people have been killed. Some people have been defrauded. So how do we balance all this to ensure that we don't get our fingers burnt in an attempt to connect meaningfully with other people via technology? So, moderator, let me stop here so that I can allow others also to make a comment and questions. Thank you very much, moderator.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for that. I'm sure our lecturer have had the question you asked in one of your remarks. She will attend to it. So if there's another person who has question to ask, you can do that either by putting the chat, or if you want to raise up your hand to speak, that will be allowed. So if you have any question to ask, you can indicate or put in the chat so that we can recognize that the lecturer will attend to it. I want to call Mr. Afolayan too. He has any comments before I call Mrs. Adekaye next. Mr. Fola, are you there?
Yeah, thank you very much, sir.
Welcome.
Wonderful presentation by Dotun. And for me, it's a very good opportunity to reconnect with her. The lecture has been a very powerful one. It's made it clear that there's a need for, first of all, a self-connection before we start talking about even connecting to others or to the community, and which is very important because that self communication and evaluation helps one to identify where you need the outer connection, and it makes it easier because once that clarity is there, whatever connection that is now made and whatever help is required is clearer and makes it possible for value to come out of such connection. So it's a very wonderful presentation. And even as she was speaking, I've not heard from her now for almost 3-4 years too. And I was looking at it that whose responsibility is it? Is it the boss that is meant to connect to the employee that you've not seen for a long time, or the employee or student that is to connect to the teacher if you have not seen each other for long? You know, those are questions that were coming up in my own mind too. But it's such joy to see progress that she has made, to know that the impact continues. And I believe this is part of the joy of connection and making meaningful connections of what we are doing. Not just about pressing a button to say like, but to really connect and have an understanding of where the person is, and also being able to provide platforms for growth for one another. You know, so I believe it's a very important message that we've had. And it's also an exciting one for me because it also gives me an opportunity to think of my roots too, going back to staff school and hearing the headmistress making a call for help to come to Macedonia. So I believe all of us, one way or the other, need to connect and reconnect and make meaningful value of that connection to know where we all stand and what way we can add value to one another. So, Dotun, thank you very much. Nice hearing you. And Professor Kolawole, thank you for anchoring this session so well. Thank you all listeners.
Thank you. Thank you, sir, for your comments. It's noted. Somebody is asking whether this presentation will be available. We always make it available on our YouTube and some other social media platform. So you'll find it there. Whoever is interested to listen to it all over again. So it will be available. It will be available for us subsequently. Well, let me call on Mrs. Adekoye for your own brief remark too. You can mute yourself, ma'am.
Okay.
You muted it again. Unmute yourself, ma'am. All right, it's fine now.
Okay, sir.
Yes, we can hear you now.
Okay. I thank again, muted.
No, you're on, ma'am.
Okay. You can hear me. Thank you. Thank you, Engineer Dotun Kazim. In fact, you have opened our eyes to many things. And as you know, when you are talking about our collective role, so we have been doing it, but I want the teachers, all of us, to really make use of that thing you said again. Children need support. They need affirmation. They need to be celebrated. We need to acknowledge them. And I also put it to all the teachers that we should really make use of that. And I know that we help us. And then I want to talk about the technology and connection. Engineer Kazim, you told us that 73 respondents cited technology as the reason for their loneliness. I think I want to support it. For example, you see parents of nowadays, you see, even from the babyhood, they will just put the baby on the bed, put video for them to watch. Most of the time, they just leave them for hours. No cordial relationship. So I think I want to seize this opportunity to tell parents, that they should not allow the technology of a thing to make the children to be far away from them. It is good, but they should caution themselves, because that is the beginning of the of loneliness. You see children of primary school feeling lonely. There are many things to say. There are many things. 1.9 people did students. I was reading it yesterday. 1.9 people did JAM, and only 400 of them passed. That is 1.5 failed. In this digital age, is it really a blessing to their performance or what? So I think the researcher should please find a way to really find out why are these children that are in digital age that are supposed to know better, get better, why are they failing? I think it will be better. Anyway, I enjoy all the messages and everything. Thank you so much, Dr. Kazim, and everybody.
Thank you, Ma. Any other comments or question? I've not seen any question on the chats.
There's one in the chat.
Okay.
And also Professor Oyetunji's question.
Yes. Okay, maybe you can attend to them now.
Okay. Thank you very much to everybody for the comments. Professor Oyetunji talked about safe use of social media for building connections. So I will say two things to that. First is, it is safe and healthy to start within your immediate community. Start with people around you that you can see. Focus more on, to the extent that it's possible, focus more on physical relationships. And even when you are using social media for close relationships, let it be with people that you can trust, you have some kind of history with, maybe you went to school together, you're in the same church or religious community, where you can just trace the person to other people. There's safety in that. And then in being online, I would say being open with other people around you about the kinds of conversations you are having online. So if you are talking to somebody online, don't be the only one that knows about that. Sound out with people around you. Sound out with your family. Sound out with your friends. Sound out with your colleagues. To let people know that, oh yeah, you have like completely or strictly online relationships. And when things start to get fishy, like if people are saying, oh, don't tell anybody about this, or if they start asking for money or start asking for uncomfortable things, know that that's a very good time to, even if at that moment your judgment is clouded, just ask one person. This is why it's important that to like already have close relationships, like physical proximity close relationships, or like family close relationships, before you start building relationships online, so that you can validate, or you can just ask somebody to double check or authenticate whatever it is that is going on online. That, does this sound normal to you? Is this okay? This is what this person is saying, that kind of thing. So those are the two things I would say. Start with your immediate community, work with people that you trust before you now start building relationships with strangers online. Then there's another question that talks about that asking, is there a connection between loneliness and depression? Yes. There's a very big connection between loneliness and depression. Although like they can exist without each other. People can be lonely and not depressed. People can be depressed and it might not necessarily be that they are lonely. But the likelihood is that when loneliness has reached a chronic stage, like when it is a real, like really bad problem, not attended to over a long period of time, depression is very likely to be present or to be a consequence of that. So I hope that answers the question.
Okay, thank you. Any other comment or question? I think from what you have said, an individual will actually need to play a vital role. And I begin to remember the simple definition we give to system. There is a set of components that has the relationship for specific goal or specific objective. So maybe an individual will need to first of all determines his objective goal. Then before he needs to know how to interrelate or who to connect with and then how to get connection. I think that's very important in this matter. So when an individual, as we have mentioned, that self is very important in this situation. So when an individual determines or sets his goal, his objective, what he needs, then that will be able to direct the kind of connection he or she will get. And that's also very important here. It appears we may be winding up now if there are no more observation. We want to recognize some of our people who are on this chat tonight. I can see some of our senior people in the department. I can see Professor Lule there. I can see the director of items. This is Alao. You are welcome. Many of our alumni. I can also see one long friend, Mr. John Ululade. Well done, sir. While thank you for joining us. I made a comment that's a beautiful presentation. So many other people that are here, Dr. Bola and wife, immediate pastor of departments. I can see her. The head of the department is here, among others. So I want to thank everybody who has been here tonight. Before we jump to the vote of thanks, I want to ask if the guest lecturer has any final remarks she may want to make before we begin to go towards next day.
Okay, thank you so much once again, Dr. Kolawole, for anchoring so well, and to the guest of honor and the special guest of honor, and Professor Oladokun as well. I am very grateful for the opportunity. I would just like to say to everyone that connection, self-connection and social connection is a broad concept, and it is not a one-time fix. It's not something that you just set and forget, that kind of thing. It's an active practice. It's something that you have to continue to cultivate, but no need to be overwhelmed. You can take it one step at a time. A little always goes a long way. A little sending an intentional message here, or even just spending 10 minutes with yourself every now and then, it goes a long way to improve your quality of life, and possibly extend your lifespan as well. So yeah, thank you. Sorry, I'm muted.
Thank you. I want to thank you for your contribution and the remarks. Take notes and move forward from there. I want to call on Engineer Okpadare, one of our active IP engagement team, to give us the vote of thanks for today. Engineer Okpadare, sir.
Good evening, everyone. My apologies. I came in late. I want to say thank you to everyone for being here tonight. for always joining this lecture series. This is the 32nd alumni lectures. And on behalf of the engagement team, I want to thank you all. Especially, I want to start from our chairman. Thank you for honoring our invitation, our special guest of honor and our guest of honor for this event. Thank you for making our time out of your busy schedule to attend these lectures. Our professors in the house, senior colleagues in the department, and our esteemed alumni and students on this call tonight. We say a big thank you for always being here to learn, to rub minds. And I think this is one of the very, very genuine place where we can always continue to rub minds, bringing town and gown together, rubbing minds with our teachers, as our students teaching teachers, and teachers also learning from their students. And I think this is a way to also foster this social connection that our guest speaker has talked about tonight. Once again, our dear guest speaker, Dr. Kazim, thank you so much for this lecture and for bringing us to the point of at least remembering that we need this social connection beyond just technology. We need to get to know ourselves, connect with ourselves, and be able to connect deeper with others. So on behalf of the engagement team tonight, once again, we say thank you. And again, on behalf of the engagement team, we want to say, how are you doing? Genuinely from our hearts, how are you doing? Thank you, and God bless you.
Thank you, sir. God bless you for the both our thanks. So thank everybody once again. I can also see Dr. Lanre Okunribido, one of our pioneer postgraduate students and now based in UK. He's a lecturer. He comes here to lecture on sabbatical from his base in UK. Thank you, sir, for joining us. And many others, those who are Dr.'s friends that we cannot recognize, people from staff school who have joined their headmistress to be part of this program. We want to thank you. Sorry, we may not be able to recognize you specifically. So we thank every other person again for joining us. And as you can see on the screen, by God's grace, the next one will be coming out 13th of June, 2025. And that topic is sustainable infrastructure and resource efficiency, international development perspective. And it will be given by Engineer Godson or Hurogo, the CEO of Track Mechanization Services Limited. He's a member of the set of 2003, 2004 graduating sets. So by God's grace, we'll be looking forward to that. And I want to say thank you for coming. Let's keep the connection. God bless. Bye.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye, sir.
everyone.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank
Thank
you.
you, sir. Bye, sir.
Thank you. Bye,
Thank
everybody.
you. Bye. Thank you.
So I want